sound, I see, I as a human being, is it relevant to me or not? Is it enjoyable to me or not? Etc. etc. उससे ही होता है. अभी somebody is calling, for example, sorry, forgot, your name is? Huh? Nikhil. If somebody calls Nikhil, when you hear that sound, what will be your response? You will see who is calling me. If somebody calls Arun, what will be your response? Somebody is calling somebody else. I have nothing to do with it. You will become indifferent to it. Or you may become angry, why are you shouting so much? So this is how we go through experience. When somebody calls me, my attention goes that side because there is a connection. Somebody calls somebody else, no, generally we are indifferent. But if that voice is disturbing us, we become angry. There is a good, neutral and bad experience. Then now tell me, who is experiencing? That person who is identifying with that body. It's basically the identity which is experiencing, not the soul. That is ahankara. As of now, it is ahankara which is experiencing. So now tell me, which is your favorite dish? I mean, you might be eating so many things. What is your favorite dish? You tell me normal. Paneer sabji. Within ISKCON, don't go outside. Paneer sabji. Or maybe butter halwa. Something like that. Is it tasted by whom? Body only, na? Because one day, for the first time when you ate that halwa, your tongue had a nice experience, and eventually it is the mind which is storing the experience. And that day you had it experienced very nicely. Whenever you see it, you want more. And if someday you had bad experience of some item, whenever you see it again, what do you say? No, nahi chahiye. That is what it is. Ahankara, first time it received something, it stored the experience in the mind. When next time the same object comes in front of me, what ahankara will tell? Take more, take more. When you stand in the serving line, we ask the server, our spoon de do na. If it is not good item, then zyada mat do, आधा spoon do. Yes or no? So, but how it is happening? It is ahankara which demands newer and newer experiences. It says, I want more. But it cannot tell to the person. It will tell to the mind. Mind is assistant to ahankara. Ahankara is the boss. Mind is personal secretary. Whatever ahankara wants things to be done, it will get it done through mind. And mind itself will not do. It will give orders to the pranas. Within our body we have 10 pranas. Prana, apana, samana, vyana, udana, devadatta, krikara, like that. There are 10 pranas. The pranas are the vital energies which enable our body to perform some physical activities. If there are no pranas, our body cannot perform any physical activity. So mind tells the pranas, abhi boss ko chahiye. So what pranas will do? Pranas will instigate the mouth. Pucho, mujhe thoda zyada chahiye. If there is no one, so the prana will tell the hands, okay, serve more. If you are serving yourself, self-service, what do you do? 1 spoon, 2 spoon, 3 spoons. And then the pranas will tell the legs, go to corner. So that no one will see. If everyone sees, they will keep saying, hey, itna liya kya? Bahut log piche bhi hai. So the legs will take the body to a far distance and sit there. In a hiding place, hide out, and then have it. हो सकता है तो जितना जल्दी हो सके उतना जल्दी, quickly, so that before anybody could notice, खत्म कर लो. So this is how the pranas will instigate the karmendriyas to perform the activities. And that's how the gross body, the karmendriyas will use the gross body to perform all the activities. It's like that. So this is how the whole body functions. So, whatever you see in this entire slide, mostly is all subtle body. Gross body is here. This gross body is directly interacting with the external world. And for example, now both our gross body and subtle body are made up of three modes of material nature: tamoguna, rajoguna, sattvaguna. What is the nature of Atma? In relation to these three modes, nirguna. The gross body, subtle body are within the purview of three gunas. There is something called soul or Atma, which has nothing to do with three gunas, which is nirguna. But how do we interact? An entity which is made up of three gunas with another entity which is made up of nirguna. This is one type of entity, this is another type of entity. How these two will interact with each other? It is consciousness which makes the interaction between these two. Chetana, which makes the interaction between these two. It is the interface between these two. And soul is functioning under the supervision of super soul. So since time is already there, before going further, I want to take one more point to you to notice. In the previous slide, I showed 24 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether, sound, touch, forms, taste, smell, ear, skin, eyes, tongue, nostril, voice, hands, legs, anus, genital, mind, intelligence, false ego, and consciousness. Out of 24, 23 are made up of three modes, and this is an element which is said to be made up of pure goodness. That means it is also an entity of goodness only, but it has no component of passion and ignorance. Generally, when you say mode of goodness, that means 80% goodness, 10% passion, 10% ignorance. There is nothing purely one entity. It also has some component of other modes. But whichever is maximum, we call it with that. But this is one entity which is not supposed to have any passion and any ignorance. It is supposed to be made up of pure goodness, so that it can interact with one entity which is made up of three gunas, and also with another entity which is also made up of nirguna. So it acts as the intermediate between these two. Okay? Bhagavad Gita, introduction, Srila Prabhupada says, Bhagavad Gita talks about 5 things. Other than you, anybody else can tell what are the 5 things which Bhagavad Gita teaches? Not kurtas. Yes, Prabhu.
About minds and God, environment, place and
Paramatma, Jivatma, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. 5 things. What do you mean by karma? Activities we do. Now, how we perform activity based on what we discussed till now. How do we perform an activity? With the help of this body. This body is made up of 24 elements. This body is made of 24 elements. So now, Bhagavad Gita is talking about 5 elements: Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. Karma means activity. Activity means this whatever is being done by this body, and this body is made up of 24 elements. That means karma means 24 elements. Total how many elements? 24 plus 4, 28. Okay? Out of 28 elements, the knowledge about 23 elements is received by buddhi. It is buddhi which helps us, even not to 23, even 24 also we can say, for example, now make it round figure. It is buddhi which helps us understand about what is what among these 24 elements. Buddhi will tell us What is earth? What is water? What is fire? What is ether? What is eye? What is touch? What is form? What is taste? What is voice? What is hand? What is leg? What is mind? What is intelligence? Mind means emotions. Buddhi means analysis. Ego means identity. All these things are revealed by Buddhi. Okay? But there are 4 things which we also want to know. What are the 4 things? Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti and Kala. If at all you want to know about these 4 things which are beyond the purview of 3 modes of material nature. Now tell me, who can help us understanding the nature of these 4 things which are beyond 3 modes? No. In this, among this, Chitta. It is by Chitta we can understand these 4 things. By Buddhi we can understand these 24. By Chitta we can understand about the remaining 4. Are you getting? Something which is inside 3 modes, we can understand about it by Buddhi. Something which is beyond 3 modes, we can understand about it by Chitta. That is the function of Chitta. Now, all of you are going to college, pursuing your education. Undergraduation, B.Tech, electrical, computer science, mechanical, chemical, civil, etc. etc. What is the main faculty that you use there? Your Buddhi, your analytical capability, your understanding capability is the most important thing in your studies. Yes or no? You have to hear and analyze, you have to study and make notes and make so many things and make drawing, make scripture, so many things you have to do. For everything you need to have Buddhi. We say na, but what is the criteria for entering into B.Tech? You need to qualify certain exam. Who can qualify that exam? One who has intelligence. One who could study, one who could make out, one who could answer properly, one who could gain good score. It is intelligence which makes, which takes the importance in doing whatever we are doing in the external world. But when you come to temple, what do we do? What do we do in the temple? What are the different activities we do in the temple? Details. In details, no need to, not abstract. Chanting and then? Huh? It's not studying, hearing only. Here you don't study, here you hear. Basically, same thing whatever we do outside, we do here also. We come, we have darshan. Okay? And then we take part in the kirtan. We dance. If there is a class, we sit and hear. After the class, we come down and take prasadam. If prasadam is more, we lie down and take rest. And when there are so many friends, we meet and discuss. Same things. We are speaking, we are handshaking, we are walking, dancing, and of course, other things are there. And then we are also that hearing, touching, and seeing, and tasting, and smelling. All these things we are doing. Same things only. But since all these things are connected to Supreme Lord, and the purpose is the science of self-realization, realizing ourselves, realizing the Supreme Lord, realizing the connection between both of us and the Supreme Lord. So this is all. Who is supposed to be in the forefront? Buddhi or Chitta? In our spiritual activities, Chitta should be in the forefront. In our day-to-day academic activities, Buddhi should be in the forefront. Because that is Buddhi's activity, this is supposed to be Chitta's activity. Normally, from the worldly point of view, Chitta is sleeping. Because Chitta, which is superior to intelligence, but intelligence made Chitta subservient to himself. This is the normal gradation. External world, our gross body, subtle body, chitta, spirit soul, super soul. This is now supposed to be the normal gradation. But currently, it is like this. Our subtle body is sitting on the simhasan. And it is ordering the chitta, spirit soul, super soul, and on the other side, gross body and external world. मैं बोल रहा हूँ, कैसे नहीं सुनेंगे आप? मैं बोल रहा हूँ, मैं सुनना चाहिए. जो मैं बोलूँ वही सही है. This is what is happening now. We need to bring it back here. Currently, chitta has become subservient to our subtle body. How can we make chitta superior to the subtle body? Huh? See, in the class, whom you say topper? Okay, that is there. But what makes him score more? Huh? He studies, he attends all the classes, he does homework properly, he regularly studies. He gained the knowledge regularly. Okay? So, जो बुद्धिमान व्यक्ति सभी संग्रह कर रहे हैं इसलिए वो टॉपर हो रहा है. इसके वजह से सटल बॉडी टॉप में है. अभी चित्ता को टॉप में लाना है तो क्या करने का? अभी इससे इसको ऊपर में लाना है तो क्या करने का? हाँ हाँ, क्या करना पड़ेगा चित्त के ऊपर? Whatever activities in relation to Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, if we increase those activities more, then Chitta becomes more powerful or endowed with more information, more knowledge, then Chitta will guide subtle body. If the knowledge that gained by Buddhi is more, then Buddhi will say, Chitta aap chup jao. If Chitta's knowledge is more than Buddhi, then Chitta will tell Buddhi, सही है, आपके पास भी ज्ञान है, बट जितना मेरे पास है आपके पास उतना नहीं. Okay? I'll give you a simple example. With this we'll conclude. In the month of December, we go out for book distribution. When we try to distribute book Bhagavad Gita, what people say? Out of many things? No, not that. From the point of view of Buddhi, they will say that I don't need Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita कुछ काम नहीं ना उनके लिए चाहिए. बूढ़ा लोग रहते हैं ना, उनके लिए भगवद गीता कुछ काम नहीं, उनके लिए मेरे पास बहुत काम है. How, what makes him to say that I have a lot of work? Because from his point of view, he is an intelligent person. He want to develop a new business, he want to earn a lot of money because he want to enjoy the way the world people are enjoying. So उनका life का goal अलग है. But if a devotee, thoroughly knowledgeable person, what does he say to such a person? Huh? Sorry? No, not that. That already told. He already told that. He will say that, my dear friend, yes, you may be busy. You may be having lot of plans to earn lot of wealth and start a new business and so many things. But kindly understand, currently you are in a human body and this body can only last for 70 to 80 years. Afterwards, you will have to give up this body, you will have to enter into a new body. Again you have to struggle. Whatever struggles you are doing now, again you have to re-struggle. Again one more life, again one more life, again one more life. This will never end. And then he will say that this human body endowed with 24 elements, especially the chitta, which will help you understand about Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala. That knowledge will give you eternal happiness. The material happiness which you are seeking in this material world is only temporary. The eternal happiness which you can gain with the understanding of Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala will be everlasting. That knowledge you will get it from this book. Please take this book. This book will help you understand The chitta is supposed to be boss of ahankara. It is not the ahankara who is supposed to be the boss of chitta. This knowledge we will get only when we understand Shastra. But we will be able to understand Shastra only when our chitta is active. If chitta is not active, if chitta is not fed properly, it has become weak. Even though we may be hearing so many lectures, we can't understand. Our chitta should be sharp to understand whatever we try to hear, whatever we are gaining in this temple. So this is how Srimad Bhagavatam actually develops. What is this human body? What is the roles and responsibilities of each and every object, and how they can be used in a proper way, so that we can gain the spiritual knowledge, we can gain the real knowledge, and we can continue our spiritual journey. So in that way. Of course, these are some points. Prabhuji was raising his hand from a long time. Yes. Any questions? Yes, Prabhuji. Little louder.
When you said that we should keep our chitta on the forefront when we are doing some spiritual activity, and when in general material activities we should keep the buddhi in front. So what does it mean on a practical level? Like let's say we are doing chanting, so can you please give an example to explain it better? Because we can't, I think it's not too easy to differentiate chitta from the single body.
Okay. It is not that we need to put forefront. When they are activated, when they are endowed with that particular activities, they automatically come forefront. For example, I give you an example. You are a student. What are you studying? B.Tech Computer Science. Now, I'll take an example of a student who is studying B.Tech third year and is also a devotee. And we take another B.Tech third year student who is Computer Science, extremely outright atheist. Okay? You are studying the same thing and he is also studying the same thing. And what is the purpose of your studies now? What would be his outlook and what would be your outlook of studies?
He is atheist.
He is a grossly atheist.
Question is, for him it will be like getting a job and then obviously enjoying the material world with what he gets.
Yes.
And for me, on a level, it will be like firstly creating a balance between the spiritual and the devotional life, and then moving gradually towards the devotional path.
So when you become a devotee, in your life there is nothing material. Everything you do is all spiritual only. Whatever studies you do, whatever job you do, it is all used for your spiritual practices. There is nothing like, I will do spiritual practices 22 hours in my life, 2 hours I do gross sense gratification outside. It is not like that. It is all. So basically, his outlook is hardcore material enjoyment. And your outlook is serving the Lord. What makes this difference? Your chitta is awakened, his chitta is sleeping. How your chitta got awakened? Because of spiritual activities. When you come to temple, you are engaged in various spiritual activities by which you are able to understand what is Atma, what is Paramatma, what is Prakriti and what is Kala, and then you are able to connect everything to it. So your outlook of life is different from his outlook of life. That is because this element is able to function properly. There the element is not able to function properly. That's how we have to understand. You don't have to put it forefront. Because since you are doing spiritual activities, it automatically comes in the forefront and it will guide you. If this is not strong enough, your ahankara will guide you. So, in that way.
The flowers in the garden, they come by the air.
Wind.
By the air. But actually, the slide, the touch is connected with the air. And the scale.
Touch is also.
Water is connected with earth.
Yes. Order is connected to the earth. Because I did not go into details. The plant is coming from the earth. So in that way it is connected. I just gave example. Order also comes, touch also comes. For example, in the summer, here temperature is very high, now it is good. So at least now, if you go out, what happens? There the wind comes. Along with the wind, what do you experience? What do you get? There is a hard touch. Okay? In the month of January, February, if you walk outside, what do you get? Cold. That heat or coldness is carried by the wind and it comes to your skin and you experience that. So, of course, that also I use that example to help you understand the information how it is carried. Same way, the wind actually carries that heat or cold, that information also. It also carries the fragrance also and the other two also. Yes, good.
Is it wrong that we, because of Ahamkar, we identify with the body, we say that my name is, so what are we supposed to say when someone calls our name? We say that
No problem. As of now, identify with the body, that is fine. But as you train more and more chitta, eventually, when our understanding becomes more and more solidified, that I am the spirit soul, what is the constitutional position of spirit soul? Jivera Swarupai Krishna Nityadas. When that becomes strong enough in comparison to I am so and so, I belong to so and so parents or so and so land and so educational background, and all these things will become subservient to it. Among these two, which is stronger, that depends upon how much you train your chitta. The more you train chitta, Jivera Swarupai Krishna Nityadas becomes stronger. The less we train, I am an engineer. My name is so and so. I belong to so and so place. That becomes stronger. And more than that, I am human being. कुछ दिन के बाद I am husband. और कुछ दिन के बाद I am father. आप सब सुनना चाहिए मुझे, जो बोलता हूँ मुझे सुनना चाहिए. That becomes stronger. If you train this, I am the servant of everyone. What was that? Dasa no dasa. Even though wife may be there in the home, children may be there, externally you may be behaving like a parent, but internally one behaves like I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. So one accept the responsibility of taking care of one's wife and children. Not to exploit them, but to help them to go back to Godhead. The perspective changes completely. So in that way. Yes, Prabhu.
We wanted to understand spiritual.
Little louder.
Even for understanding spiritual concepts, we use our buddhi. So how can consciousness be in forefront for spirituality?
We may think that we are using our buddhi, but buddhi has no capacity to help us understand all these things. Buddhi can only give us the understanding from the material perspective. If only buddhi functions, at max they will say Krishna is a powerful king. When chitta becomes active, then chitta will say Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Buddhi will never ever tell Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. A buddhiman Vyakti also reads Mahabharata. His understanding of Mahabharata is, his understanding after reading Mahabharata, he says Krishna is a chalu admi. Krishna is a clever admi, tricky admi, a cunning admi. And also he will say he is a powerful admi. And he is a magician. But if your chitta is active, then what do you say Krishna is? Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is Paramatma. Krishna is Brahman. Krishna is the Savior. Krishna is the protector of Pandavas in all difficulties. It is Krishna who protected Draupadi. It is Krishna who protected Pandavas from Dhruva's Muni's curse. This chitta will understand all these things. Buddhi will say, ऐसा नहीं होगा. Universal form, it is only magic. It is not real. Buddhi can't go beyond three modes of material nature. It will help us understand. But इतना ही है, उनका लिमिट है, वो लिमिट के अंदर ही. There are so many intellectual people all over the world studying Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavatam. They are doing research on Gita Govindam also. What is their understanding? Do anybody become devotees? Academically, if they do research? Srila Prabhupada only fed prasadam. He only did kirtan. Hippies became devotees. They don't have any intelligence. Still they became devotees. How? By prasadam, by kirtan, their chitta got awakened. What is the Mangalarati first line? Every day morning Mangalarati में हम क्या करते? Okay, sorry. उसके बाद चैतन्य शिष्टाष्टकम. Sorry. What do you mean by that? Huh? Sorry? The secondary meaning, the generally normal translation we say that cleansing the mirror of our heart. The primary meaning is Cheta Dharpana Marjanam. Chitta, which is supposed to be like a Dharpan. What is the role of Dharpan? It will let us see what is in front of it. So Chitta supposed to show us Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala. When it is filled with lot of dust, what it will show? Dust only. Dust only दिखाएगा. Dust को निकालेगा तो क्या दिखेगा हमको? आत्मा, परमात्मा दिखेगा. So our sadhana, whatever we are doing day in day out, it is all removing the dust. When we remove the dust, when chitta becomes clear, the chitta will help us see Atma and Paramatma. So it is like that. Okay, any other questions? Yes, Prabhu.
Is chitta same as the subconscious mind? Because nowadays we see there's a lot of research and probably the factors are like scientists are focusing into on the subconscious mind, that you need to train subconscious mind. So is it the same as chitta that is being stated here?
Yeah, some category of people they say that chitta to be subconscious mind, and some category people they say that chitta is inseparable from Atma. Some say chitta means consciousness, na? Consciousness means Atma. So some say like this, some say like this. Different people have different ideas. But Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 26, Bhagavad Sankhya, and Chapter 6, which talks about the universal form. From that we try to understand this kind of hierarchy of the elements which are being introduced through Bhagavatam. So I also don't know how they are able to say all these things and what they mean by saying that. I don't have much information about that, so I don't know about it. I can't comment upon that. But in any case, this is my little understanding about how these elements are there within our body and how they are functioning, what are their roles and responsibilities, how they are connected to our day-to-day spiritual activities, how we can utilize them properly and then train them properly so that we can have proper spiritual growth in our life. I just made an attempt to connect in that way. Yes, Prabhu.
So the consciousness always values importance, pure goodness. But when there is a concept of quantumatic consciousness, when it comes to material things, quantumatic consciousness, very important. So how like it changes the quality in terms of remotes when it comes to
Contaminated consciousness means this one. It becomes subservient to Ahankara. When it becomes subservient to Ahankara, it can't raise its voice. It can't put forth its opinions. Ahankara will say, chup raho, wo chup jayenge. So it is like that. So it follows the directions or the desires of the Ahankara. That is what we call it as contaminated consciousness. Uncontaminated means it takes the superior role and it guides the Ahankara. Then Ahankara has to listen to Chitta. So, in that way.
So the quantumatic consciousness is influenced by mode of action.
Yes. It is influenced by Ahankara. It is subservient, has become subservient. That's what we say, Prabhupada always says. It is in the dormant state.
It is covered or its quality changed?
It is covered, it is controlled, it is weakened. It has no energy to do anything also. So when it is controlled, it has to listen what boss says. Even though it itself has a different opinion, but it can't raise its voice. When we feed it properly, when it becomes strong enough, It can make its own opinion. Like Nectar of Devotion, we have this phrase, Prabhupada always quotes. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoi Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karoi Uday. Shuddha Chitta. You remember the word? Karoi Uday. सुबह सुबह क्या करना पड़ता है हमको? Wake up. So as of now, the Shuddha Chitta is in sleeping state. We need to wake up. How? What is the procedure to wake up? Shravana Adi. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Archanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. Iti Pumsharpita Vishnu Bhakti Shain Navalakshanam. Kriyate Bhagavati Yadda Tanmanne Aditamuttamam. When we do these 9 things as a offering to Supreme Lord, then the Chitta will become awakened. When Chitta becomes awakened, then Chitta will give us the experience of Krishna Prema, which is expressed by Nityasiddhas. Otherwise, we will continue to experience Jada Ananda. I actually wanted to say something more today, but instead of getting to details, I'll just tell you one thing. This is from 4th canto. There is a section called as Allegorical Story of Puranjana. Okay? The essence of this entire story in 1 or 2 sentences is like this. There is Atma. Okay? Brahma Sutras, that is Vedanta Sutra. It says that the characteristic of Atma is Anandamayo Abhyasat. Atma always looking for Ananda by various means. Whatever may be the means, but Atma always looking for Ananda. Okay? There are 3 phases in English or in Sanskrit also. Sukha, Santosha, Ananda. What would be the English equivalent for these 3 words?
Bliss.
Sukha, Santosha, Ananda.
Bliss. Happy, satisfied. Bliss.
Is there any distinction between them? In your English vocabulary, when you explain them, is there any distinction between them? All are satisfaction only. All are that way. But in Sanskrit, the understanding is when you say Sukha, it is connected to gross body. Sukha is exclusively connected to gross body. Santosha connected to subtle body. Santosha can't be experienced by gross body. Sukha can't be experienced by subtle body. Ananda is always connected to soul. Okay? Soul cannot experience Sukha, soul cannot experience Santosha. Soul only experiences Ananda and soul only want Ananda, nothing else. Soul ko Ananda chahiye. So when the soul comes to the material world, the Puranjana comes to the material world, there is somebody called Puranjani, a lady. She promises, so my dear sir, I am here to serve you. I will give you whatever Ananda you are looking for. Kindly stay with me. I am here to serve you. I am here to fulfill all your needs. Srila Prabhupada translates Puranjani as intelligence. Intelligence. Everywhere in that entire section. The previous Acharya, they say that Puranjani also stands for Chitta. Intelligence and Chitta put together is called as Puranjani. Okay? And these 2 people are promising the soul that you come here, you stay in this material body, the body made up of 9 gates. Our body has got 9 gates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, anus and genital. 9 gates. This is called city of 9 gates. Navadvara Pure Dehi. You stay in this city, I am the queen of this city, I will give you whatever enjoyment you are looking for. Same way, when the Jiva comes to the material world, it is our Buddhi and Chitta promised us, I will give you whatever Ananda you are looking for here. Stay here with me. So we have come into this body. Apni Puranjani to hai, उनका दो फेसेस है, एक फेस बुद्धि, दूसरा फेस चित्ता. Whichever face is so active, accordingly that kind of thing will be given to the soul. If buddhi is active, it will only provide material sukha or material santosha, so by which one is bound in this. But if chitta is active, chitta can provide spiritual ananda. While soul is here, it can experience spiritual ananda and it can also go back to Godhead. So in that way, the function of the soul is only looking for happiness, looking for ananda. It is the body which takes the responsibility of providing that ananda to the soul. With proper training, the buddhi or chitta, among these two, who takes the precedence, it is in our hand. So what kind of ananda we want, for what, for that whom we have to train is in our hand. If we want to train buddhi, there is the entire universe is open. If we want to train chitta, wherever people are coming to and performing spiritual activities, that is where the chitta can be trained. So these two options are with us. So accordingly we have to make a choice and go ahead. So in that way. I am sorry how far I could convey all these things, but this is something from Bhagavatam Sankhya perspective. Yes, Prabhu.
Can you show this slide of flowchart? I have a question. No.
This one.
So like, you say that this is a matter of how we feel and how we act. So probably like we say that we see something by gross body, some inputs have gone, and like these inputs are not favorable for our consciousness. So if like the first stage is done, that the inputs have done. So at what stages of these flow chart we can overcome that, and how we can overcome that, the contemplation and all.
See now, this buddhi, if it is not guided by chitta, okay, when it sees an object, for example, all of you are boys, when you see a beautiful girl, if Chaitanya is inactive, what would be the outcome of after looking the girl? One becomes attracted to her beauty. If one get to hear her voice, become attracted to her voice also. So eventually one want to be with her as much as possible. Starts making friendship with her, and etc. Things will go on in that direction. But if chitta is active, chitta will say, okay, though intelligence is telling about all these things, this may not be favorable for your spiritual activities. So stay back. Don't go further. So there is a restriction. Somebody who is superior is advising us whether this is good or bad. So that's how it helps.
Like it is not possible all the time, so that we can.
That's what. All the time it is not possible because the other one is not so active to make constructive remarks. Yes, Prabhu.
There is same as we say अंदर की आवाज,
हाँ.
the guts feeling,
हाँ.
अंदर की आवाज, conscience, different words are the same as the Chaitanya, or it's like Paramatma.
Yes, it can be. It is Paramatma interacting with us through the medium of Chitta. Paramatma also cannot interact with us directly on its own. There is a medium required for us. Chitta is the via medium, which it's acting as the interface between gross and subtle bodies and the spirit, soul and Paramatma. So in that way, it can be the sixth sense, we say, gut feeling, or the internal voice, etc. Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
So is Chitta is an element of this material world, and the second thing I wanted to ask is, you said Puranjali means intelligence plus Chitta, but they are very different things. Chitta is pure goodness and that is three modes. So how can they be two pieces of the same thing if they are quite different? Are they
Even when I introduced Chitta, I said it is pure goodness. I did not say it is Nirguna. Since it is pure goodness, since it has no contamination of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, it alone can interact with something which is Nirguna. Other object which, though that may be in goodness, but since there is a component of passion and ignorance, it cannot interact with Nirguna completely. So in that way.
So is Chitta material or spiritual? Where does it belong position?
At least from Bhagavatam Sankhya perspective, it belongs here only.
It belongs
It belongs here only.
Okay, so that's why it can also be connected.
Yeah.
Like two faces will be the example because both are material ultimately.
Yes. Yes, Purush.
Okay, as you answer my question previous, like the consciousness is the basic answer of that. So, Prabhu, in the last phase of the flow chart, you say that Ankara is the experiencer of all the things.
Mm.
So, like, if we have experiences via past times and it is stored in our mind, so like, how can we control the action according to our mind? Like, we have the past, like sukritis we have, and whatever we are going on mind, but we have to control the action. So, is the same answer is consciousness? For that?
No, it depends. At that point of time, in what state of consciousness you are in. Your buddhi is so active or your other things are active, accordingly you take the decision. But the mind stores the information of millions of lifetimes. Everything is there. But among all hundreds of informations which is coming out depends upon your current state of mind, current state of consciousness. उसके ऊपर भी रहता है. So it's like that. I mean, we did not get into many details, but generally this is like general idea of how this body functions. There could be many more permutation combinations also, but overall idea this is.
So, like,
Eh.
how we can control like our action, prana,
No, you can control only when, by because of two things. As I mentioned, there is buddhi, there is intelligence. You perform activity with a purpose. What the purpose is for? Who is guiding you or who is influencing you to go in that direction? Your intelligence or your chitta? If you say you are intelligent, you say I am a self-made person, I make my life, I make my plan. Who are you to tell me? They will say. But if you are a spiritual person, you try to listen to the guidance, you try to take the guidance of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra, and then you go in that direction. Because when chitta is active, it will say that whatever you do, no problem, but make sure that it should go in the spiritual direction. But if you are not, so I mean, our whole purpose is I want to gain name, fame, and money, etc., etc. Oh, that becomes the main point. So in that way, I am trying to analyze these elements from the point of view of spiritual practices. So I consider chitta to be spiritual practices and buddhi to be anything within three modes. So in that way. Yes, Prabhu. Ananda. Okay. From the material point of view, Shanti means without any anxiety. But as Lord Krishna defines this material world in Bhagavad Gita, how does he define this material world as? Dukkhalayam. Dukkhalayam. This material world is supposed to be Dukkhalayam. Will there be any Shanti in this material world? Will there be any place for Shanti in this material world? No. But even you say that no, it is not always Dukkhalayam, there is some happiness. There is some peace in that happiness, one may say. Then Lord Krishna says, Ashashvatam. Even though you may see here and there a little bit, but that does not stay long. When something is not staying for long, you cannot say it is existing. When you say something is existing, it should stay always. Then only you can say it is. But what is constantly in this material world? Dukkha. Whether you accept or not, dukkha is there always in this material world, not the happiness.
I
That's why Lord Krishna names it as Dukkalayam. From Shastra point of view, the meaning of Shanti is liberation. Sanskrit, the word Shanti is a synonym for Mukti. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, text number 26. Anyone remembers here the last sloka of chapter 5? The sloka meaning is Bhoktaram Yajna, means if you practice Nishkama Karma Yoga. Bhoktaram Tapasa, if you practice Jnana Yoga. Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, if you practice Ashtanga Yoga. Suhurdam Sarvabhutanam, if you practice Bhakti Yoga. What will happen to you? उसका पहले एक होता है ज्ञात्वा माम. Either by practicing Nishkama Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, first of all, you will know me. By knowing me, you will attain Shanti. By knowing me, what you will attain? You will go back home, back to Godhead. There you will get eternal peace. Not here. There is no peace in Dukkalaya. Peace is there in the spiritual world. Shanti is only there in the spiritual world, not in the material world. This is the meaning of that verse. One gets Shanti only by knowing the Lord. One can know the Lord only by the practice of, primarily by Bhakti Yoga, secondarily by Ashtanga Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Nishkama Karma Yoga. These are the four bona fide authorized paths to know the Lord, to attain the Lord, to gain the peace, everlasting peace. In this Kali Yuga, other three are very difficult. Bhakti Yoga is somewhat possible. बाकी तीन करना बहुत मुश्किल है. Other three could have been very nicely possible. Yes, Prabhu. Little louder.
Like another Prabhu also asked about Chitta to be in the mode of pure goodness, and we told that according to Bhagavatam Sankhya, it should be you classified it as being material. But as far as I could understand a little bit from hearing, Sri Prabhupada sometimes says that in this material world, pure goodness cannot exist. Whenever we talk about pure goodness, we talk about Shuddha Sattva. Like Sri Prabhupada quotes
Vasudeva Shabditam. Yes.
So, how can we understand that? So, the Chitta being material, how can it be 100% of pure material goodness?
That is the only hope. As I mentioned, when you say goodness means 80% goodness, 10% passion, 10% ignorance. Passion means 80% passion, 10% goodness, 10% ignorance. Ignorance means 80% ignorance, 10% passion, 10% goodness. The only way we can go back to Godhead is we need to come to the point of 100% goodness. That is when our Chitta is fully active. That is when Chitta can help us understand as well as realize Atma, Paramatma, Prakriti, Kala. That is when we can go beyond three modes and enter into spiritual world. We are already in the material world. We are already given this material body consisting of 24 elements. Somehow or other, we have to make Chitta purely good. It is actually purely good. But as Prabhuji mentioned, we have contaminated it. We have to bring it back to its original